Welcome everybody to the series 2 nobody asked for, but what we wanted to do is season 2 of Bunny and the Beast. Welcome back, Happy New Year and all that stuff.
Happy New Year, darling. Yes,
oh God, she's back. I said Bunny Galore 3 times in a mirror, and look what
happened.
I know.
Oh my goodness, I was tempted to replace James with the sock puppet.
Does it have more personality?
Yes, talent, personality, and not be a basic gay. So,
well, the difference between me and a sock puppet is you can't get a fist in me.
That's not what I've heard.
The bathroom stall says differently in Manchester now.
Anyway, we are back with a vengeance. How lovely to be back. 2024, is it?
Yes, 2024. It's my 30th year as well.
Yes, so a lot to catch up on in the last few months because we did a load of episodes back in before December, I think, wasn't it?
We did, yeah.
Was it November? Obviously,
it was
before December.
Yes, it was. Was it November? Was it October? Was it June? Who knows?
Because it was around the time of my birthday, and then it was the Doctor Who anniversary. Then I went into rehearsal, so I was going to be away.
Yes, she was a very busy lady.
Not very far away, but
far enough away that doing a weekly podcast is hard work.
Not really having, and I ended up deciding to not commute in the end because it was commutable from my home near Greenwich, near South London, so I could kind of get across that side. But it took about an hour and a half each time. Yeah. So I was like, no, actually, I'm going to stay. And I had the best time doing that because it was like a little holiday. It was like a little working holiday. I loved it.
So for those listeners that don't know, Bunny Galore made her triumphant return to the world of panto this year. She played herself in Sleeping Beauty in Rickmansworth.
Oh my God, yes, that was the beauty. No, I guess I was Nurse, I think.
Nurse Sarah or Nurse?
Yeah, Dolly. Nurse
Dolly.
Hence the music. Dolly
Is
Parton
that named after Gok's dog?
No, I guess I Dolly Daydream, Dolly Mixture. That you kind of get that as a kind of a moderner name for a dame character. I think I've been Dolly before, so it's kind of like a, not an old-fashioned name, but it's a more say old-fashioned. Sounds like still the 1960s, doesn't it, Dolly?
Yes, it
Daydream.
does.
But
that sounds like a short nickname for Dolores or something.
Well, they wanted to use the music from Hello Dolly as sort of the opening, and I was like, no, let's do something modern. Dolly Parton instead.
Yeah, just a few decades late. Just a few.
Basically the same, the 60s.
Yeah,
the 60s.
Literally, they're from the same era.
Same era, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean, parts of Dolly Parton are much younger than that, but only certain parts.
Is indeed. I have not had any surgery yet myself, but, in 2024, who knows?
It could be the year.
And over Christmas for you, so you came and visited as well, didn't you? Bless you. And
I did the tour of pantos.
Yes.
Next year, I want to be in a panto again. I got massive FOMO, which rarely happens, but I was like, I know the shenanigans that goes on backstage. I know how hard work it is, but I was watching it and everyone having so much fun. I was like, oh, I miss this. Yeah. I miss that thrill of performance, and I miss the theatricality of it all. And also I want to be in a panto because I cannot do another tour of pantos because I would always go by myself and I would somehow be immersed in a sea of children. I look like the panto pedo going to a panto by themselves, and I got shout-outs from Bunny and also Mother Malin, because she was in a panto in Dunstable, saying, happy 30th birthday. So I look like the loser who's gone to panto by himself on his 30th birthday, surrounded by children. So I need to be in a panto myself because, or at least maybe find a friend. Maybe I should find friends this year. Maybe that's my resolution.
Well, it's hard to go and see shows with friends. I only did when I went to Cardiff, and I took Mama G from Dame Nation, the
You Say Mama.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
No. Oh, Honey G. I say
thing?
honey, you say G.
Oh,
Mama,
right.
G.
No,
yeah.
I don't know that.
This is why I didn't get through in the X Factor.
So I took Mama G because otherwise it is, to go all that way to Cardiff, I was a bit like, I could do it by myself. Of course, I don't mind, but it's the sitting in the theatre by yourself that suddenly becomes.
I saw yours on I almost swore in the first 3 minutes. I saw your panto on a school show.
Yes, I think
it was me in an entire primary school.
Same mental age, obviously.
Okay, yeah. Well, they might be a bit further ahead in their reading than I am.
I was going to say actually they're a bit too advanced. I love those school shows, and I don't normally like. I erased all memory of any early school shows out of my head, and then suddenly these they were really sweet kids. They were really lovely, really. And I tell you something. The last thing on this is the biggest surprise was so they were always like junior school.
Yes,
and then we got to one school at the end before going into like normal later performances. And
the adult shows.
The adult shows. Where they were probably the first year of secondary school, whichever what's that called now? Like 7 or 9 or
yes. Wait, what?
What year?
Year 7. You start secondary school in year 7.
So he says year 7.
Yeah.
For me that was year 1.
Or the first form, we used to call that school.
Yeah.
Which is very Right Privileged the musical. The first form and the fifth form.
Yeah, so that's I would call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again.
Yes,
in secondary school. Year 7. So I was a bit nervous about that because, like, when you're kind of getting nearer teenage years, they're kind of less into pantomime.
Yeah,
as en masse altogether, not coming with their parents. But
yeah,
and they turned out to be the loveliest audience
and
massive Bunny Galore fans. By the end of the show, not that they came in like that.
I was going to say, you have fans?
I never have fans. I have people that like my work. I think it's tacky to say that.
You have
gentlemen admirers.
Yes, you have an army of twinks.
I do.
Bunny in the army of twinks.
I do. So.
And your 3 thruples of the apocalypse.
7. We might have just gone up to 8, I think, this week.
Oh my God.
But they were really supportive. They were really, so I don't expect boys at that age, 11, 12, to be yelling and screaming and be really, and I thought, are they taking the mickey? But then the rest of the cast were coming up to me going, isn't that magical to see the difference of things that Drag Races had and just that open support?
Yeah.
I was really amazed. I'm still a bit like, well, are you sure they weren't taking the mickey?
Boys wasn't expecting that at all.
No, exactly. To be that supportive, I still can't get my head around it. Everybody else in the cast were.
And now I booed you when you came out. How did it feel to be the showstopper of your show, though? Because you were the best one. Well, that's not me being biased.
It's easy to do that when you're changing costume. So if you don't know what Pantomime Dame does if you're not from the UK, it's a role, a man playing a female character, and the shtick that kind of came on later on, perhaps in the 80s and then into the 90s, is that you change costume in every entrance. So that's why I like it. It kills me every time, but making an entrance each time with a different costume always, raises the energy level, so you don't have to work as hard. And I also think, because I've done very big commercial shows, and this was not a big commercial show, this was kind of like a medium one, I guess, I hadn't thought this through, that there seems to be a bigger contrast now between those big commercial shows and what I'd probably term as traditional shows. And if you put me in the traditional show, like I have been for the last 7, 8 years with a gap, I look like a bouncy castle. So suddenly everything I do is a lot of what I'm wearing is even bigger, because I'm probably not, what I've made or have had designed for me is not that scale. That makes sense?
Yes.
So it's kind of, so I look, I think, even sort of, it's great. It's fantastic. I love it.
It's not off the rack stuff. It is extravagant drag.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not quite, it's not like man in a dress docker type of dame. So I think it's an easier win for me. Is what I'm trying to say very politely. And then if you're fabulous on top of that, of course, it makes it even more amazing. But that's like drag in general. That's the rule I learned in the early 90s. Is looking in the mirror. The first time I put drag on for the musical Cabaret was, people are talking to me like I'm a different person. Like a completely different person.
It's scary. I never actually. Technically, I never met Bunny Galore.
No, you hadn't. No, you've never bothered to come to any of my gigs, so you kind of.
Well, you don't like to do gigs.
No, I do it more now.
Yeah, you are. I can't wait to come watch you because I need to, and I want to see Bunny Galore in her full.
You really don't have to.
Well, really don't. Depends if you do one that's not in Greenwich.
Yeah, it's a lot of Greenwich going on.
There's a lot of Greenwich
because it's close to my house.
Yeah, if you could do something south of the river, not. Well, Greenwich is south
that
of
is
the
south of
river.
the river. Yeah. Well, you are south now, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a nice W slag again.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Very close. We had a great night out in Clapham. Say Camden then. Clapham, didn't we? Because I didn't realise how close you were to Clapham.
Yes, we went for dinner.
In that big storm.
Which one of them?
Yeah, which one? We've just, as of recording this, we've just had a full-on tornado, haven't we, in the last couple of days?
Yeah, Storm Jocelyn's raging
Is that the
right
name
now.
of it?
Today's is Storm Jocelyn.
Oh my gosh! Right,
which makes me just think of Jocelyn. You couldn't make it because of the baby.
Very good. Look at you practicing things.
I know. I've been on a train back from Manchester, so I've had like 2 hours to prepare for this.
Oh gosh!
But I was literally dying. I haven't been this hungover in ages, since turning 30. I woke up on my 30th birthday and I was like, experienced some feelings of sciatica. My knees were really sore and I was like, oh great, to the T of turning 30, my body's starting to break down.
Oh, it gets worse.
I called Mother Mal and I was like, oh, everything hurts. My knees hurt. She's like, that's not because you're 30, it's because you're a whore. Which, factual.
Also true.
Also true.
No, it does. I think you start noticing things more. I think you won't notice. A lot of my other mates that are heading towards 30, I have to go to them. What I remember happening to me physically was like, unless you're working out or dancing all the time, which you would do at college.
Yeah.
Suddenly
it disappears.
It disappears. So unless and you can't eat what you could eat at sort of 25. 27, 28, 29 is helpful for boys.
Yeah.
But you obviously won't notice that. And I don't think you'll have that 35-year-old thing of, I think most gays have a full-on meltdown around 35. I'm beginning to notice now.
Yeah.
I think mine was just dating an absolute idiot for 7 years, from 35 to 42.
That would do it. That would do it.
Probably, I always say I have no regrets in my life.
Apart from those 7 years.
I will say I've made mistakes, and that was a massive mistake. Sorry if you're listening, but
will they listen?
I don't think so. I don't think they will.
I would be actually.
Do you ever think about that?
I was literally just about to ask you. Do our ex-boyfriends listen to our podcast?
I don't know, because I banish any of my exes out of the kingdom. So it's like, get out. You're barred. I never want to see you again, because that's the only way I can move on.
So I've never been friends with an ex.
No, I've done it once, and that proved that point that I always should never be friends with exes. Yeah. Personally.
Yeah, I don't think. I think there has to be a lot of waiting time and a lot of healing time to a point where you don't blame anyone anymore. Is going to be the time when you can actually probably have a friendship. I saw what's her face, Sue Perkins. Actual Sue Perkins, not Adam Hannigan.
Oh my God, he put his old glasses on, and I messaged him going, I finally see it. You do look like Sue Perkins, but I'd never seen him in his old glasses.
Yes, not seen his old glasses.
I messaged him and went, oh my God, I see it now.
Because she dated, is she called Anna? She hosts the Naked Show.
Yes.
Naked Attraction.
Yes.
They used to be together.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I just saw it like scrolling through, and she was talking. I feel like her name's like Anna Woodside or something like that.
It's like that, yes.
Something.
Exactly.
What's your name? Be like Steph.
And if I ever run into her, I'm going to be going, my friend James doesn't know your name.
Yes, literally.
Nor do I, really, off the top of my head, anyway.
But they were talking about on her podcast about how they're such good friends now because they were together for so many years.
Wow.
And they were basically like, we got to a point where we had a lot of separation, a lot of healing, and it got to a point where we didn't blame each other, but we still respected each other and still liked each other's company, just not in that way. But I've not reached out with the next because they're all trash. They're all Satan.
Well, I don't think I try to look.
Their nickname now is the Goner Kebab.
Oh my word!
And again, X is not Adam Hannigan.
Well, I would love to, in theory, be friends with exes, but I just don't really want to have. I want to move on. I don't want to keep in the past. I think it probably depends on how you've broken up.
Yes, that's probably a very fair thing. Yeah, there's only one that I would want to be friends. There's only one that I'm on really good terms with. Who we both still speak really highly of each other. I only know that because he's in Frozen, and
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course he is.
Jordan Fox. Yeah.
I've just been speaking to him in the last day.
Literally.
Yes,
but like some of the cast members are like, oh, he still speaks so highly of you and really respects you still. I was like, oh, of course he does. Like, because I'm amazing. I'm fantastic.
I didn't realise he drank. That's.
You didn't realise Jordan Fox drank?
I mean, as in, he drank so much he doesn't know what he's saying. That's what I'm saying. No, that's lovely. That's great. He's a lovely boy. He's a lovely boy.
The only one I'd consider being friends with. But
I guess
that's been years.
Yeah, it's been years. I mean, the last proper one, I would still be friends with. He's away on cruises and things. It's not like he's not in the UK, so it's like. Wow.
Oh, I thought he was like he's in Hampstead Heath.
Look at you knowing old school gay.
Some of my gamer friends, they went and did a photo shoot out in Hampstead.
Really?
Hampstead Pergola thing?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, a bunch of gay men took some cameras to the cruising area adjacent. They're like, yeah, we didn't think about this through.
Does that still go on? It must still go on.
It must do.
Even with the internet age.
George Michael didn't get caught for nothing.
No, I mean as in that was in America though.
Was it? I thought it was Hampstead Heath he got caught.
No, I think it's America he did because American Cops, isn't it, in the video?
Any listeners, if you know
sure
where George Michael got caught cruising.
It was in a park. It was in a restroom in the park, but I think it's America. I think. Because a long time ago now, isn't it? But in the age of apps, I do wonder if that's still the way people would meet illicitly.
Maybe.
He had saunas after that, so the saunas are still there. So maybe I guess it still goes on. I don't know.
I don't know. I only went to one gay sauna once, and it was a terrifying experience. Don't go when you're 18.
No,
by yourself.
That is.
Oh no, I went with a friend, and then the friend ditched me.
Yeah, probably depends on the sauna, I guess, and also probably who you're with and what you want to do. And 18's probably a bit young for that, yes.
Yes, 18's a bit young.
Yeah.
Young and impressionable. Young and innocent and sweet.
Wow.
Tweet, tweet.
Wow. 18 or science fiction? 18.
18 in actual life, not like 18 in the Buffyverse where they're all 36 playing 17.
Exactly, as it should be in any sort of, like Grease the Musical.
Grease the Musical, where they're all literally 50.
I know, they're literally so much older.
So when casting director's like, you're just a bit too old to play high school, I'm like, have you seen Rizzo?
I know, it's so strange, isn't it? I always think, and I remember watching that as a child thinking, when it came out, that's what happens when you're in your teens. You look like that, and I was kind of very disappointed that you don't look like Rizzo, Stockard Channing.
That's her name.
Now, talking of like ways of meeting gentlemen, it's a friend of mine's just met somebody in the old-fashioned way in the 90s, pre-apps, just by saying hello to somebody on a train.
Stop it.
So actually, in the real world, and he was really. It was really lovely, and he said, "Oh, do you think what?" He was asking my advice about it. I was like, "Well, welcome to dating pre-apps. That's what you do." I mean, I probably, and it's still how I do. I don't meet people via apps, so as in datey stuff.
Yes.
I've never thought of even doing that for dating, like proper going on a date. Because I say, well, you've got to have that spark with somebody.
Are we in the 80s again?
1880s.
1880s. How did people talk to people these days?
How now?
Yeah,
badly. I think I was quite impressed because he's probably millennial, Gen Z, I guess.
Oh my, I would find that terrifying. I would find that absolutely terrifying.
Well, I suppose I've not done it in a while sober. I do meet a lot of people now, but I guess it's just being that confidence, isn't it? Of just being alcohol helps normally.
Alcohol
it used
really
to help.
helps.
Now I don't need the alcohol to. That makes it sound like I've been drinking heavily.
Which you have.
I wish I had. I've been sober for like 6 weeks over Christmas because I was always driving. So, and came back on New Year's Eve, finished the show New Year's Eve, and then straight out, and I was like, oh God. It was, yeah.
So you lost your 6-week chip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Bunny.
My name's Bunny Galore.
And I'm an
alcoholic. Going back to drinking since has been... or drinking alcohol socially, by the way.
Yeah.
I rephrase that. I don't drink at home. I don't, but out with mates. And because that's all I've been doing really is socializing, seeing friends since I got back, because you don't see them over Christmas.
Yeah.
You end up then seeing 75% of, of everybody to say hello to. So it has been strange. It's been weird, but it's I haven't missed drinking particularly.
I love it. I'm such an alcoholic. It's so bad. Actually, last week I gotta admit something that I did some things with alcohol. I didn't do a King of the Minger and stick a wine bottle up my fudge. One, cause I don't have one. But it got to a point last week. I was going through I don't know what was going. I was deflecting something going on in my life. I don't know what it was. I need to still rethink about it.
It's quite a long list.
It's quite a long.
Where'd you like to start? Welcome to the we are on sofas here if you're listening on audio. So it does feel like a therapy session.
It does. You're about to dump me again like my other therapist.
Oh, don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me. And I drank, but like last week I drank a bottle of wine to myself like every night at home by myself. I was like, this is a bit too depressing. But then admitting it to
saying it aloud is quite a good idea.
Yeah, like it was really scary. It's really scary to admit something like that. I don't know why, because it's like I'm an adult. I can do what I want, but admitting to like Ranj and my housemate, like I've drank a bottle of wine to myself every week.
Well, that would be like eating a cake every night to yourself. It's like if fitness-wise, you would know how poisonous that would be to your body. And not how much. Although now I want to do that.
But yeah, it's just me looking back at and going, okay, what made me think that I wanted that, and why? What was I running away from? What was I disguising? What was I deflecting? So that's. I
would imagine you're just bored. I thought it's January. You're kind of bored. I don't think there's any. It is a big red flag, by the way. Huge red flag. But I don't think that's a permanent red flag. I think
no, it's not like a permanent one. It's been much better. Like Ranj's been amazing. Me checking in, like, how's your drinking been this week? I've been like, actually, not had one. And actually, speaking of soap, well, I had one last night. I had many last night, but
me too, yeah,
just finished the show, so I needed to. This is a first for me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you proud? I'm going to do some ASMR. It squirted in my face. Listeners. Listeners, if you're not watching it on the YouTube, I have a water bottle for once. Not a gin and tonic.
I didn't even think about that.
You were just watching me like, what the fuck is he doing?
What's he doing? No, I did realise what you were doing. That you had a water bottle. I didn't realise that you'd. I suppose I don't notice. Have you not done one of these sober before? Do you mean?
Yeah, no. I always have a drink when we do a podcast.
I hadn't really clocked that. I think. Yeah, I hadn't realised.
Yeah.
Did you note the worry in my voice? Suddenly, the concern, impending concern that's going on in my voice.
We need to talk about your drinking.
Okay. I guess I'm more used to switching it on, just relaxing into these things nowadays. But I never used to be very good at radio shows, and when I was in my 20s, I was kind of like really scared by them. So, because I'm so used to I know we do film these for like publicity purposes, but it is an audio format, and it's like it's meant to, it's long form, sort of talking, so it is quite it's intense in that way, but I'm used to it now.
Yes,
I'm not saying I was used to it 10.
Oh no, I wouldn't say I'm scared of doing it. It just helps ease.
Yeah,
it just helps just let the tongue loose a bit more. Say what you're gonna say.
No, I'm letting you dig your own grave.
Very true.
Yeah. No, it's true. No, it's.
Please no one Saltburn my grave, please.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So, you've watched Saltburn?
Yes, I have.
I remember seeing the trailer for this. I think I was with our friend James, Taylor.
James Taylor, Mother Mallon's boyfriend, life partner,
yes.
carer. Dependent, maid,
yeah,
all round bitch.
I think in that order.
Yeah, I think in that order.
Maybe reverse it. I went to the cinema to see The Nun 2, and the trailer for Saltburn came up, and I was like, wow, that looks fascinating. That reminds me of so many things, but looks fresh and new at the same time. Not in a bad way. It reminds me of other movies. like I avoided The Conjuring for about 10 years because I
Love
thought
it.
it was just a remake of things I'd seen a million times. Like, why am I going to bother with that? It looks so derivative. Turns out to be brilliant, obviously, but I came to it 10 years later going, oh my gosh, that's why everyone goes on about it.
Yeah.
So I get it now, but not so much 10 years ago. And Saltburn, I thought, well, that looks really fascinating. And then, of course, I thought, oh, it'll come out at the cinema or something. I'll see it when it comes out on like streaming, and then away over Christmas. So I was and during that period, suddenly it became so infamous very, very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
Because it had gone onto streaming and suddenly everyone was talking about it. So when I thought, right, okay, I'm going to settle down and watch this. And of course, I was expecting, I think, so slight spoilers in place here if you've not watched it. We won't do big spoilers, but obviously there's some quite sexually charged scenes.
Yes. That's putting it lightly, yes.
The bathtub scene, I don't think it's that shocking at all. Because I was expecting a lot worse, I think. I was kind of expecting him to ejaculate over, drink the water with semen in it or something.
I thought the bathtub scene was really hot.
No, same.
I was watching going,
because it's quite...
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
Well, is it because it's implying that he's rimming him? Is that what you think it's? Do you think it's that?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not, because it looks kind of.
Oh, but then he is licking around the plug hole, so maybe
it's that kind of. I think that's why you'd find it sexy, because it's kind of visually inferring that, I guess.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
As opposed to but what I found more shocking, which I guess I hadn't paid attention to, is a scene in a graveyard. If you're not seeing it, we'll just leave it at that for now. Which is quite.
That's disgusting.
That's quite shocking. Apparently, the actor's own choice.
Yes, improvised.
Yeah, which is really interesting, I thought. But I like that because it infers the nicest arc of the story, that he actually does love him, as opposed to being not in love with him, not to reveal what happens at the end.
Yes.
But I absolutely love it. It's very, very talented. Mr. Ripley is probably, that's still quite a long time ago now, Talented Mystery, but that's like the latest version of that story. There's a lot of, throughout cinema, usually, particularly in the early days, 50s, 60s, even 70s, gay characters were always usually either a victim or they were not the perpetrator of, or evil.
Yes.
And particularly lesbian characters. So that's the only. So that trope has been there quite a long time. So it's quite easy to go into that realm of the serial killer gay type of thing.
Oh, the bit where he fingers her in the garden.
Yes,
that's disgusting.
So
and then licks her blood.
But it's so weird because at the opening I went, oh my god, the title sequence looks like a 1960s Hammer horror Dracula movie. How clever! And then when it got to that bit, I was like, oh my god, it's because they're inferring that he's vampiric. And that's so clever. Oh. And then by the 4:3, instead of being widescreen, it's going back to the old square, way of shooting TV film. You have to go much further back, like 1950s, because I think Marilyn Monroe's big movie How to Marry a Millionaire is the first one that's really, really, really widescreen. So everything after that is widescreen generally. You don't really get widescreen square film very often, unless you're going back pre-53. So just so clever. So clever.
Brilliant.
So sexy. The cast are incredible. So, a very, very, very classy cast.
I don't think they have rehab in Liverpool.
No,
they probably just go to
the coast, darling.
Go to Rouen, I suppose. Where is it? I think it's on the sea. Darling, where's Liverpool?
I think it is by the sea, by the way. I think it is.
Because Irish people they ferry from Ireland to Liverpool.
Yeah, I did not realise.
Liverpool Docks it's where Alison Hammond knocked someone into the.
Of course, yes.
Actually, was that a canal? It was a big body of
docks.
water.
It's in the docks.
It's in the docks.
Yeah, so I guess a bit like, Shadwell and Canary Wharf kind of docks, isn't it? Which I think they were going to move it to, or did they move it to there? Did they move there after Liverpool? I can't remember what they did after Liverpool before they moved to like the later studios for This Morning. I think they were still by some docks. I've got a feeling it must have been Canary Wharf.
Oh.
Am I just making that up?
I think you're making that up.
Maybe I'm making that
I think you're making that up.
Because it was such an intrinsic part of the show, that those sequences.
Yes.
So Liverpool, there we go. So you've never felt the need to drink someone's bathwater?
Not until I saw that film.
I know.
No, it's in theory.
It's imagery.
It's the imagery of it. Yeah. It's the practicality of it is gross.
Yes, I'm not
the practicality of it is like. Well, to be fair, I'm always a person that's like, I'll try. I won't say I'll try everything once, then you know what you like. But
yeah,
I'm not rushing to drink a certain someone's bathwater.
No, that's never been on my list either.
No, it's not on my bingo card of 2024.
No, I mean, there's a lot of things I've not done actually, I guess. But
yeah, it's because you're vanilla.
I'm pretty vanilla. I've been told that lately, actually, because that's quite considering who I am is quite a list. But I am fairly.
What were you going to describe Bunny as?
Just by fact of being a drag queen, it becomes like that's not that you become slightly different gear, don't you? From just
Well, I imagine most drag queens are probably quite vanilla because the character and the exaggeration is their use of innuendo and pun and basically being as outlandish as possible. I think is an act. I think
I do. Well, interesting. I do think
unless you're a certain someone that we've wanted on the podcast but we haven't had yet.
We've had Mary Mac.
One certain drag queen got caught sucking randomers off in toilets before DragCon.
I did not know that. I think we could talk about that off
yeah,
the
so I'm
show.
not going to name them.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
Carla Bear. I'm joking. It wasn't Carla Bear. It wasn't Carla Bear. It wasn't Carla. She wasn't there.
Yeah, well, it might be a different person that I've heard stories about. But anyway.
On that tasty note, wrapping up our first episodes of season 2. Season dos.
Yeah,
season 2. Season 2.
You knowing languages.
I'm done. I'm done. My head hurts. That's just a hangover kicking in.
So new year, new season, and new place to live. Oh, be still my beating heart. Don't you tease me.
No, I will not. I'd say new year, new me, but I'm actually going to be as horrible as I was last year. Probably might even be worse.
Okay. I don't think that's possible. But
yeah, there's nothing less than rock bottom, is there?
No, it's true. So you've moved. You've turned 30. You've even blonder than I last remember. And
I got burnt from it.
That's very blonde. That looks like it's been left on too long.
No, because it wasn't all washed out of my hair.
Oh,
I woke up.
Really?
My scalp, when I finished it last week, it was so sensitive. I was like, it's not been that sensitive for ages. And then, so I was like, I'm not going to wash my hair when I get in because I just don't want to aggravate the scalp. Woke up the next day, my pillowcases were bleach stained. So my bleach was on my scalp for probably about 12, 15 hours.
I'm amazed it didn't fall out.
Me too.
But I guess they use, I always take the mickey out of this, like, new organic thing, that's the whatever.
No, I think it was strong peroxide.
It was supposed to be peroxide, so it's probably just as well it was probably something a bit more vegan. A bit more sensitive.
Vegans. Kidding. Not kidding.
Sorry, Joel. So there we go, yeah. I don't know, I feel exactly the same. I've just come back kind of from a nice little jaunt. Probably... you doing the show was lovely. It felt like a lovely little time away. I felt like Cameron Diaz in The Holiday because it was a lovely Christmassy town. Yes. So it was very lovely. Did it change my life? Probably not. Did it reinforce or nicely reminded me what I'm quite good at? Yes. Do I need reminding? Probably not. But yeah, it was just nice to kind of go away and do something. It's nice in that way. So, but I have different plans for 2024. I don't have resolutions because I always think, well, I'll do that on a Tuesday rather than on New Year's Eve. So I don't have a battle plan like that. But I have some projects I'd like to do this year. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes up, I think. Well, how about yourself? What do you feel like your plans for 2024 are?
Oh, there's so many things I want to do. Get a job. Get a job. Suck a dick.
Tick, tick. You've just done them over the weekend.
Yeah. That would be telling. I'm unemployed. No, I just want to still work on being a bit kinder to myself. I've been weaning myself off my antidepressants, so I want to finish that off.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. I think we just found out why the bottle of wine every night has happened.
No, it's fine. That's not related. That's not related. And just to keep pushing and not getting in my own way. The person stopping me from my own success is me at the end of the day.
I would love you to take a look at yourself and take it all in and just realise. But that is pretty much impossible at 29, turning 30, because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, that best will in the world. I think until you go through that, I think it's not until you go through, this is why I say about 30 is quite important, until you go through that first casting bracket change, but you become young dad.
Yes.
Which is really mortifying, but the way when you start being pulled up for those roles. But you go through that wall and you suddenly realise what you've been and where you are, and then you go, for better or for worse. Yes. But it makes you realise who you are.
Absolutely. And to finish up our first episode of season 2, we have our vast castle. We've had an extension added on. What object are you going to be today, and why?
Well, we're in a new studio today because we couldn't record at our normal one, and it's quite fun, isn't it? And I think I would love to be this lovely plant next to me. I think growing and changing and soaking up any bath water.
I hate to break it to you, but this plant is plastic.
Darling, so in 2024, I might be plastic too.
Yes, absolutely.
I feel like some injectables coming on.
Oh.
Maybe I have some surgery this year.
Maybe we should get toxed together.
Oh, what?
Toxed.
Botoxed together. Oh my God.
Oh, we should do a day out and all get Botox.
You don't need Botox.
I might like it. Honey, you finally got Botox.
So plastic. It might be, who knows?
Oh,
I'm going to be a houseplant.
You're going to be a plant, and I'm going to be the house bar. I'm going to be all the alcohol, because dry January is what? Overrated.
I do think of you as a nice little bar a lounge bar in the side, like in the corner,
quiet,
tacky looking,
covered in dust. Caution: do not enter tape everywhere,
and no one's used for years.
Fair enough. I'll allow that.
That's a lie, the complete lie.
But thank you for tuning in to our first episode of season 2 of Bunny and the Beast. I was about to say Bunny and the Bitch, but actually that was me rereading myself. So not much has changed over the new year. Claps for James. But yes, tune in next week. Anything you want us to talk about, do slide into those DMs or email us at bunnythebeast69@gmail.com. And from me, the Beast, have a lovely week. And from
Bunny Galore, we'll be seeing you very soon, hopefully without any bathwater.